plan strategically, I can get it right. I'm gonna go where the winners go. 'Cause failing ain't an option, no, it ain't in my blood. All I do is try to come.
Welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. Yes, it is Monday yet again, that fast. So, welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. This is the place where we go beyond surface level topics in relationships. This space provides us with an opportunity to delve into more personal or profound aspects of our lives. Co host, how are you doing this Monday?
I am doing better. Had a little dental work done today, but I think I can make it.
Well, let me tell y'all something out there in Bravo world. Y'all better give it up for my co-host because that's one thing she does not like. That is the dentist. Not
Absolutely.
that is anybody's thing, but yeah, some fear the dentist more than others, and that's not hers. But she pushed through for y'all. We might need some super chats for that, right?
Right. I agree. I think we need super chats. We need some likes, some shares, some subscribe, and super chats would make me really excited. Especially I had to have a
Yeah.
root canal, so that kind of stuff. But we're on the other
Yeah.
side.
But thank you all for returning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for our faithful followers. We could not come on every Monday without you. As a personal disclaimer, we speak from our personal relationships in the hopes that it will push someone past their pain to happiness, joy, or peace. House rules for Mondays Beyond the Mic is respect, respect, respect. I would like to state that if disrespect is displayed in the chat or on the platform, individuals will be silenced and or removed. Okay, so we are still in the flow of Black History Month. Yay. We're going to utilize this 28 days. We're going, what they say, ride it till the wheels fall off.
Absolutely.
I don't know. What you think? I think it's something we should continue. We should take a poll and see. I like this little information that we're giving. What do you
We can
think?
definitely. I love it. I mean, next month is Women's History Month, so we can always reflect on Black women and what they have done. So
Yeah, because we're not going to stop being Black, I don't think. So I'm just saying. At this day and age, I don't know. So I could say for us and, some of our followers, I don't think we're going to stop being Black. But I digress. Let's get into the show.
all right, so we're going to have our Black History moment. So tonight we're going to talk about Nat King Cole. He was a legendary jazz pianist and singer who became the first Black man to host a nationally televised variety show in the U.S. The groundbreaking Nat King Cole show was debuted in November 5th, 1956 on NBC. Did you know that? The show featured musical performances, comedians, and celebrity guests such as Ella Fitzgerald and Sammy Davis Jr. It was the first time a Black entertainer hosted a television show on a major American network. Despite its success, NBC canceled the show due to racial barriers in media. By the late 1960s and the early 1970s, Black-led television programs like Soul Train and Sanford and Son gained traction, providing that there was an audience for Black entertainers. So Nat King Cole paved the way for the Flip Wilson Show, for those of us that remember that, the Oprah Winfrey Show, the Arsenio Hall Show, singers like Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Quincy Jones, and so many others. So tonight we salute Nat King Cole and his contribution to Black history in media.
And if you think about it, we would not be here if it was not for him.
Absolutely. That's a great.
Right? That we would not be here if it wasn't for him. So we have a little quick and this is something else I learned too. This quick little tribute to him. And you must read out there. Please read.
It's for the way you look at me. Oh, it's for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore.
Now, as many as times as I heard that song, I did not know that that was Nat King Cole.
Oh, wow.
See the stuff that we just I didn't know. And you see how they use it and play it. And it has crossed over to every genre. So yeah, that's our spill on tonight. And again, to your point, we salute Nat King Cole, because if it wasn't for him, we would not be here. Because we are a dog show, right? But
Absolutely. Yes, that is us.
that is us. So let's get into it. Since it's Black History Month, as you know, we have been exploring the lives, accomplishments, and love stories of influential Black married couples who have made significant contributions to history, culture, and society. We have explored the relationships of the Obamas, Davises, and tonight we will explore the relationship of the Kings. The Kings were more than just a couple, they were a movement. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King didn't just share love, they shared a mission that changed the world. But behind the speeches, the marches, and the victories, they faced unimaginable trials, betrayals, and sacrifices. What can we learn from them about relationships today? Are we respecting the roots of dating and marriage, or are we just caught up in modern trends that redefine commitment? Hmm, interesting. Want to start? You want to say something after that? What do you want to do?
I honestly think that we are probably caught up more in the modern trends opposed to what it used to be, because there's so many things that are different, but yet I believe there's so many things that are still the same. There's so many traditional, um, and I don't necessarily want to say roles, but traditional ways that at the heart, I think it's how people want to be treated, which is respect, which is with dignity, which is saying, are you willing to be with me through long suffering? I don't think that most couples are built that way. It's if it's inconvenient, I'm out.
Okay, that's a good point. Let's talk, because once we start talking, we get all the way ahead of ourselves.
All
So
right.
take it away.
So, respecting, so this is defining respecting the roots in relationships. So, respecting the roots in relationships means honoring foundational values like commitment, sacrifice, and purpose. It means looking beyond the surface level attraction and building something that stands the test of time.
So that's what we're talking. That is the definition. That's what we will be flowing with tonight. And before we continue, let's see who's in the chat. We know this is our commercial break, and we must say hello to.
Hey, Anae. And she said, hey, Bravo, we're still on network. Bree said, hello, ladies. Hey, Bree.
Hey, Bree. Okay, so the beginning. Let's talk about the beginning, how they met. Before Martin became the face of the civil rights movement, he was a young preacher with a vision. And before Coretta became the first lady of the movement, she was a gifted singer and activist in her own rights. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
No, I did not.
Neither did I. But we got our faithfuls coming in, so we got to take a whole entire another commercial break.
Kathy said, good evening, everyone. Hey,
Good
Kathy.
evening.
Reverend Janelle, good evening, ladies. I agree. Many just took the convenience, unfortunately. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Janelle.
Steph is here. Good evening,
Hey,
ladies.
Steph. We got to get Steph information so we can bring Steph up. We got to get her if she's not camera shy. You won't be by yourself if you choose to. We are here. Right. So yeah, I didn't know that before the movement she was a gifted singer and activist in her own right.
No.
Okay, yeah, that was interesting. Their love story began in 1952 when a mutual friend introduced them over the phone. See, they ain't even have DMs. It was telephone. Probably got the busy signal and had to call back.
No call waiting.
No, oh, not back then. No call. Wait, you lucky enough to have a phone. So, key facts. Coretta Scott was a talented musician who dreamed of using her voice for change. Martin Luther King Jr. was a brilliant young minister following in his father's footsteps. Now, meeting and courtship. He proposed after their first meeting, telling Coretta, "You have everything I've ever wanted in a wife." That is something that you said about your dad when he saw your mom. And you hear most men say it. Men know it does not take a long time. So this goes all the way back to the 50s. Martin said, Coretta, what you're not going to do,
Is get away from me.
that on lock. I'm going to put that on lock. He locked Coretta down. He had a dream that she was going to be in it. So that was that. And then, friend, you so silly. So married in 1953, Coretta played the role of both wife and strategic partner in Martin's missions. From the start, Coretta knew that being with Martin meant more than, excuse me, being a wife.
It meant you
Excuse
okay?
me, meant more than just being a wife. He was drawn to her intelligence, strength, and passion for justice.
Okay, so while co-host is coming back, I will pick up. Martin saw marriage as a spiritual and social partnership. So what do you think about that? You know, he saw it as the marriage as a spiritual and social partnership. Anyone in the chat? What are your thoughts about that? Because he saw beyond her physical beauty. He saw beyond, you know, and he saw purpose. I think that's the biggest part. If I had to say, people get married for looks, and not, you should be attracted to whoever you marry, but your purpose is bigger. If I want to end up in South Africa and you want to stay in New York, then our purposes are going to collide at some point. So I do think that this is just great. So if you want to pick up.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm okay, and they thank you. Just, got caught up with something. I don't know.
Shayna said, that is deeply beautiful.
Absolutely saw beyond the surface. So he knew he was locking down the whole package.
Yeah. And Steph said, I wish men today had that mindset. Yeah. Well, I also think a part of that, Steph, is the standards are just different now. People are kind of like, oh, okay, next. In terms of relationships, well, I didn't like the way you said hello, so on to the next one. Or I didn't like, I mean, we lack substance is what I feel. And social media has played a part in that lacking of substance, because you see these photos and you think this imaginary life opposed to what the reality, and not everyone, but there is a big, section of folks that put their pretend lives on display. Let me just put it that way.
Absolutely.
So Anae said, hey, okay. Kathy said he saw his soulmate. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Janelle says purpose is definitely a must, and just give me a give me an ugly man. Look, at this point, we're not trying to make children, right? So it don't matter.
Love y'all out there for the honesty. That's what we love here. Yes, Janelle, so listen, purpose, treat me right. You could be as ugly as you want. I'm good on all that.
Hey, Tyson.
Hey, Tyson. Thanks for joining in.
Janelle said facts. And they said, hey,
sorry,
Tyson.
I meant to do that.
Stephanie laughing. I mean, at this big old age, at this point, right.
That is hilarious. So let's move on to defining qualities of their relationship. Shared purpose, like we just said, right? Their union wasn't just about love, but about standing for civil rights, sacrifice, and resilience. Coretta endured threats, assassination attempts, and raising children while Martin fought for equality. unwavering support. She continued his mission even after his assassination. Can we even get a glimpse of that these days?
Yeah. Tyson said, "What's good?" They say that now until it's time to go back to the sneaker ball. Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's the standing ground, like, and knowing what she was facing with him, that she just still stayed. That's something. Because today, like you said, today I'm out. I don't like how you said
Oh,
hi.
you know, was
Your
the first.
teeth
I don't
fell
have time
out.
for this. Right. I don't have time for this. And I signed up for the past. I ain't signed up for the civil rights leader. And people shooting at
Right.
us. What about our family? But that goes with no. But that goes with purpose. When you understand
Hmm.
someone equal, and I go back, what it means to be equally yoked, right? That means that we understand where we're going, we're moving in the same direction. And I'm quite sure they did not agree about everything, but she understood what his purpose was. Because even when you read earlier about him, being this young, smart minister, I mean, he graduated from college at a very young age.
Hmm.
So he was smarter than the average, academically. And she knew who he was,
Right.
or who was she saw who he was going to become. So
Hmm.
it takes something for someone to be able to say, I can take my dreams, the things we didn't know about Coretta Scott King, and say, I can put that aside to push the dream that he has forward.
Hmm.
Steph says that's the true meaning of partnership. Yeah.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
absolutely.
And I think that's what we're missing in a lot of relationships, is about I and not about us.
Right. And it's funny that she said teamwork. I remember, and I think I shared this with you before when Shaq was telling a story about Kobe. And he first started playing, and he said, Kobe, ain't no I in team. He said, but it's a me in that mother effer. I said, oh, okay. So yeah. And you see how that played out, right? He was about I, and then eventually came about team. But teamwork in relationships, or any relationship, is paramount.
Hmm.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Okay, so let's fast forward to today. Love looks different. We're on dating apps, social media, and more options than ever before. But do more choices mean better relationships? In modern relationship trends, we are losing roots. So, the definition of living in the trend. Living in the trend means embracing a short term, surface level relationship that prioritizes convenience over commitment, independence over partnership, and momentary pleasures over long term purpose. I mean, I think
Mm.
there's so much in there. Just going back to the question, just because you have more choices, that does not mean better relationships, because you can sit across from anyone and have a conversation, but if they don't move you, if they don't make you think like, how could I be a better person, or vice versa, how can I be a better person because of this person, and how could that person be a better person because of me, then it's just really surface. If it's about just me, then I'm being selfish. If it's just about just him, then he's being selfish. So those conversations need to be, and I keep saying, how can we outlove each other? How can we outgive each other? Not, and we do it, and it looks different in every couple, you know. I just really think that, no, more choices, I think it leads to more confusion.
Absolutely. And to your point, I think going into a relationship, it's not to be served. It's how can I serve my partner? Yes,
Mm,
your partner should make you better, but how can I serve my partner? How can I elevate my partner?
mm.
Because in you in a relationship, it's about serving whatever ship you're in. Friendships, you serve your friends. And I think that's the piece that we miss, because it's always about taking, taking, taking. And it's never about what can I do for you? It's always
Oh,
about what can you do for me, for the most part.
and if I
We
can
are,
just even add to that, I think a part of it is we've had this mentality, and I think especially when we think about relationships of people of color, it's on, oh, is she trying to get me? Is he trying to? So everybody's on guard about somebody trying to get you, and all of a sudden you realize you 60, 70 years old and you still all alone thinking somebody trying to get you. What's about to get
You don't
you?
have nothing to get.
And
I think you should back up. That's the first question. Do you have anything to get? Because some people think people out to get them and they ain't got nothing to get or nothing to give.
but
So that's the other confusing factor.
Right. Or you living back in your heyday, as I always call it, the Al Bundy syndrome, right? When you watch Al Bundy, all he did was talk about his heyday when he played football in high school, but he was ultimately a shoe salesman. So it's like, okay, who you was or who you were versus who you are is two different things. I'm like, tell me who you are. We can talk about your past, but who are you now?
But where you going?
Right. Who are you now? Where are you going? Have you had a heart change? And that goes either way, because, I often say this. I meet people or I'll encounter people and they're like, hey, and I'm like, what version of me do you know? Because 20-year-old Elaine is different than 30-year-old Elaine, is different than 40, so those versions look different because I've matured and grown. And when you met me in 20, I was acting like a 20-year-old probably should act. You know what I mean?
Right.
But meeting me in my 40s would look different because by then I was married and I had children. So life looks different. So people sometimes can pigeonhole you to the old you versus the you that you have evolved into or the next version of you. Amen. Okay. Thank you. Janelle, laugh out loud.
Janelle, I'm just saying, some people think people out to get them and they don't have nothing to get, nothing to give. It's like, what are we even talking about right now? That's all kinds of confusion. But let's move on. So key trends in today's dating scene: situationships over commitment. Many people hesitate to define relationships, unlike Martin and Coretta, who had a clear vision from the start. Clear vision. Instant gratification over patience. Modern love is fast, swipe, match, text, ghost. Martin MLK, we're going to say, and Coretta built something over time, facing obstacles together instead of running when things got tough. Nobody stays these days, like you said. Too many options. And to your point, doesn't mean just because options are out there that means there's better relationships. Lack of purpose in relationships. Today, dating often focuses on individual happiness, but Martin and Coretta's love was about something bigger than themselves.
Steph said exactly. And just for those of you that are watching, please hit the like button, smash the button. We say thank you, but smash the button. Please like, share, subscribe. Sharon said, hello, ladies and guests.
Hello, Sharon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So right now, let's watch something.
A lot of people, a lot of women, is they use long distance relationships as a buffer to not be fully vulnerable and fully invested while still having companionship.
Yes.
So
Glory.
This gives you the comfort, and let me say, let me say.
I try. Okay.
Some use long distance relationships, some use being a side chick or a mistress. They like something that keeps them from having to fall all the way in. So the reality is that you're not really truly happy here. It's comfortable right now, okay? And that's the reason why you're not really rocking the boat. So on one end, you're saying, what's really going on here? Why is he trying to marry me? But on the other end, I think if he tried to move to your city right now and be with you, you'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This too
She would move.
Exactly.
I love it.
You wouldn't be ready for that. So you got to be real with yourself about what's going on here, why you're in this situation.
What is going on in the dating scene? That was long distance, but like he said, if he said I'm moving, she's like, oh no.
Well, I think that's
no vision.
Where she is. And I think people are there where they say, to I want companionship. So companionship looks different than saying I want to be married. It just means like if I want to go to the movies, you want to go to the movies, let's go. I want to go to dinner. But when we start getting to the real matters of the heart, I don't really want to do that. I just want somebody there for my convenience. Because that's, to me, companionship is saying you're there for whatever I need. Commitment is saying we're going to be there even when I don't want to be here. I'm committed to you. And I think about our children, you know. So for those of you know, I have a daughter with disabilities. I'm committed to her. There are days, and you know, friend, that I'd be like, but at the same token, it doesn't stop. I'm committed. I'm not going to just walk away, or I'm not. There are moments, you know, and I think that's, even if you didn't have a child with disabilities, if you just got a child, they'll just do something, and you're like, I can't believe, but you're still committed. You're still committed to your children, and you love them unconditionally. And I think when we think about relationships, and it's a long-term relationships, is that something you want to be into, you have to think, can I be committed to this person? And when we're talking around the area of marriage, right, it's like bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, not the one you birthed out, because it's easy because you're like, well, that's my kid, I had it. No, can I love you like I love me?
Mm-hmm. Tell us what y'all think in the chat about that clip, because what I was sensing from that, and to your point, is two different things, right? But I think in dating, you need to have that conversation if you just want companionship.
Oh,
In some of these dating terms, they want companionship and disguising it as commitment and messing over people.
well, listen, anybody who know, I'm gonna read that in 1 second, but I'm like, first conversation, what's your end game? If you can't tell me what your end game is, if your end game is companionship, that's not my end game. My end game doesn't mean that I am the one you will marry. But what it does mean, if that is not a part of what you want, then I know where to place you.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can hang out, cool. But that's it. Janelle said clear vision is missing today. 1 minute they want this, the next day they want something else, right? They think it's like Burger King, you can have it your way. No, what we need to do is be able to have a clear, to the point, clear vision of what it is that you want. Be man enough or woman enough to say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shayna said, being real with oneself is necessary when it comes to any relationship. Knowing what you want in a relationship is important. Not all relationships look the same. Correct. And having that conversation, because what you may want or what I may want, if the other person wants the same and we agree, then that's what our relationship looks like. And not to and I say judge it by the world's relationship, but if these two people agree, but if I think we're getting married and you're like, I'll never get married. No, you need to tell that person, because you're just leading them, or they're staying longer than they should, because that's not what you want, and you're wasting people's time. Now, if you told someone that's not what I want to do and they chose to hang around, then that's on them. I always say about wasting time, the first 2 minutes is on them, the next 3 is on you, because the first 2 minutes you realize they was wasting. By minute 3 they wasting my time,
right?
Stephanie said, I need and want a commitment, non-negotiable, and you have to stick to that. And I think sometimes it can seem like it takes forever to get to where you want, but they that wait, and I'm gonna leave it right there.
Right. Oh, sure. Okay.
Bravo.
We're gonna play it again.
One more again.
We need a rewind button.
A lot of people, a lot of women, is they use long distance relationships as a buffer to not be fully vulnerable and fully invested while still having companionship.
Yes.
So
Glory.
This gives you the comfort, and let me say, let me say,
Okay.
Some use long distance relationships, some use being a side chick or a mistress. They like something that keeps them from having to fall all the way in. So the reality is that you're not really truly happy here. It's comfortable right now, okay? And that's the reason why you're not really rocking the boat. So on one end, you're saying, what's really going on here? Why is he trying to marry me? But on the other end, I think if he tried to move to your city right now and be with you, you'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This too shit. Exactly.
I love it.
You wouldn't be ready for that. So you gotta be real with yourself about what's going on here, why you're in this situation.
Bravo with Sheila. What's your takes on that?
All right. Give us the wisdom. So Kathy said, long distance to me means somebody's not, may not be ready to make the change, even for the relationship.
I think depending on if you meet somebody, you happen to meet somebody and they live there, but as it progresses, it's like, okay, what are we doing at this point? Because now is it just convenient?
Well, I mean, I think because I'm thinking about like Cheryl Lee Ralph and her husband. They live on two different coasts and they've been married 25 years. And again, I think if it works for them or whoever, then it works. But if you're not using that as a barrier to commit or be vulnerable, then there lies the issue. If we are saying, okay, your job, you know, your life, meaning where you make your bread and butter is on the West Coast, and where I make my bread and butter is on the East Coast, but we are committed to one another. We have a schedule that works for us is one thing. But if it's like, I'm only going to date people that are on the West Coast because I don't want him to come by. I don't want all of that. I just want to be able to say, hey, I'm going to Cali and I'll be back. Right. And I don't really care what you do.
Convenience.
Right. And there are a lot of relationships like that now. People are just in relationships because it's convenient, because you want to say, I got a man or a significant other, or I got a girl. But at the end of the day, everybody else is looking at the relationship like, what are y'all doing?
Hot mess. Just a hot mess.
Like, how old are we again?
Everybody go sit down and leave.
Right. My dad said that if a man knows within the 3 months, if you are the one, it does not take him all day to know. Now, he may not marry you. Well, my parents got married in a meeting, but he may not marry you in the first 3 months, but he knows. He knows that you're the one. And I think a lot of times women, we try to make ourselves the one for that person, and that's not your fit. And as long as, I think the sooner as women, if we can get that in our minds, like, you know what, he's not the one. So I don't have to feel like, why am I not good enough? Or why am I not this? He's not your person. And when you find your person will adore you. You don't have to, you know that, I'm sorry, that old song, if it don't fit, don't force it, just relax and let it go. And I think that's where we need to get to. I'm not too old. It's not too late, because my person, I saw a woman who was 80 when she got married. Now, I don't want to be 80 before I remarry. But however,
it's to keep hope alive. It can happen. That's the glimpse God shows you. Nope, just stay in the fight. Just be patient and wait. I got your first person for you. But to your point, as we said earlier, Martin, when they were courting, he proposed after their first meeting, telling Coretta, you have everything I ever wanted in a wife. That was the very first date.
But it also goes, he was a man who understood his purpose. So he knew what needed to fit into his purpose. Because I think when we think about men and women, we conform. We're the only ones that can take a baby, it can form in our stomach, and we can go back. Hopefully we can get it back, but we can go back. So we are made to conform, and we normally do with the person that we feel is our person. And a lot of times we conform to the wrong people. So we act like him, we talk like him, we move like him, but he wasn't our him. So Steph says, I can't do long distance relationships. Tried it once, not for me, laugh out loud. But if it's the right person, you never know. Shayna said, men know within a short time. I agree. That date, you won't date me to death.
That part. Forever, ever. forever, ever. No, that's not what we're finna do. Right. We not about to do that. So let's move on to the trials, death threats, FBI surveillance, and betrayal. Now you know you powerful. You got the FBI after you. Well, shoot, I was about to say something. Trump was here, wouldn't be no FBI. I mean, everybody would have been fine, right? But I digress. Imagine imagine your worst fears about your spouse being weaponized against you, not by another person, but by the government itself. Coretta, however, never wavered. She stood by Martin's side, knowing their mission was bigger than there's any scandal the FBI could create. She stood by Martin's side, knowing their mission was bigger than any scandal the FBI could create. By the time the Montgomery bus boycott began in 1955, Martin and Coretta were already living under constant threats.
Okay, so death threats and bombing of their home in 1956. The King's home was bombed in 1956, nearly killing Coretta and their baby daughter Yolanda. Martin rushed home to find his family safe, and instead of seeking revenge, he told the angry crowd outside, "We must love our white brothers no matter what they do to us." He's a good man. A quote from Coretta: "I learned early that I could not afford to be afraid." So that was one thing. No, because I'm just thinking that that's a whole lot of God. Yes. Okay. Uh, Number two, the FBI's war against their marriage. J. Edgar Hoover, the head of the FBI, viewed Martin as a threat and launched a surveillance campaign against him. The FBI bugged hotel rooms, recorded phone calls, and even sent Coretta a tape suggesting Martin had been unfaithful. The agency's goal: destroy their marriage, discredit Martin Luther King, and weaken the movement. So to your point, that takes a lot, and you are a powerful man when you have all of these forces trying to break up your, first of all, break up your family, right? And
Mhm.
figure, if I can break up your home, you'll be so focused internally, meaning home, that you can't do what you were called to do externally. So that's why it's very important to understand a person's purpose, who they are, before you get connected. So it's more than, triceps and biceps and lips and hips. It has to be more, because anything can come in and create that wedge, and there's mistrust. And because I say this, the two things that you need in any relationship is communication and transparency. Tell me the thing that nobody else could tell me. So if you tell it to me first, whoever tells me, I'll be like, I already know. The worst thing you can do to
Mhm.
your partner is let them find out information that is true from someone else.
And then just think about all they went through. And even now, modern day dating, half of the relationships don't last because what? Everything is publicized. You have YouTube, you have Facebook, it's DM, it's what is it, Snapchat. It's so much stuff for
And people
your
be like, "This your man?"
information to be
I
out there.
think I saw him.
Hmm?
I said, they got the phone out. Girl, where your man at? He at the gym. Well, I think he's sitting across from so and so. Let me send you this picture real quick. I mean,
So I can only imagine them back then now. Oh my gosh, it would have been so much more pressure to like how do you upstand that? I mean, how do you stand within all of that? So that's a lot. And that's part of the reason I can say I would venture to say some of the reasons relationships go south, the ones that are true, not all the fake ones. But people can't even have private moments. I think it was, who did I see? What's the guy? Steven Jackson, the sports commentator. He had made, I think it's, yeah, Stephen Jackson. No, Stephen A. Smith. That's his name.
okay,
Stephen A. Smith. He was on a Shannon, what's his name? Shannon
sure.
show. Shannon Sharp show. And what he said was, he said, anybody I'm dating, I bet not see nothing on social media. He said, the minute I see something on social media, it is over. So Shannon was like, there's no try. He said, the minute I see it, we can be getting ready to get married. The minute I see our relationship posted, it is over. I said, but I understand it.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that part of the problem, nobody keeps anything private anymore. They think it's just for the whole world to see. And then when you scrutinize and people talk, then you got a problem.
oh, listen, there's some people even on social media, you like, oh, they got a boyfriend. They're not in the, it's like we waiting for the next episode of Who Got Next. Because that's what it feels like. It's like, why do we need to know you got a man or you got a girl?
Every time you get one.
Right. Because listen, if I had ever done that, after it didn't work out the first time, like nobody makes it to social media. We done unless I'm getting married.
Right. But I'm not gonna see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just stop. Just take the page down.
Or Who Got Next?
Right on Who Got, that's a whole no show. Who Got Next? That's a dating app, actually.
Really?
I'm just saying I went there. I'm back. So Who Got Next? Okay, I'm back. Bring it in.
Yes. Okay.
Now, if Martin and Coretta were dating today, what would their relationship look like? Could they survive in an era where loyalty is rare and self-interest rules? Challenges they face that test relationships today are a constant threat. Well, was constant threats in the FBI surveillance, the ultimate test of trust and resilience, MLK's alleged infidelity, and the FBI's attempt to break them. How would this translate to modern issues like social media, DMs, and emotional cheating? I'm so greedy. Where did I get eating from? Wow, I'm hungry. Just y'all follow me. Just flow with me. Balance and love and purpose. Could a modern couple withstand the pressure of activism and ambition? Coretta had every reason to walk away, but she stayed. Not because she had to, but because she believed in something greater. Would we do the same today, or are we too quick to cut ties? And then a little shift. We gonna watch another clip, and we're gonna talk about this clip here.
I really hate to say what I'm getting ready to say, but just because she's your wife doesn't mean she's your friend. You can be married to somebody and they have the title but not have a heart. So you've got to be very careful who you select, and don't just marry a woman who's quick to become married to you. You marry someone who is honored to be your wife, because when a woman understands her role as a wife, she understands that while men protect and cover his wife, that wives protect and cover his heart.
What's your thoughts?
I love it because his heart safely trusts in her. You know, I just feel like that Proverb 31 woman. There's a lot to that. I think that's where we've gotten jaded, right? Oh, you're supposed to protect, but I can do what I want to do. Understanding roles and understanding, and I don't mean roles that society has put out, but if we go back to the basics of marriage and we think about the marriages of, and I say of old, and not that there's still some that are doing that, but it is understanding my job as a wife is to make sure, or our job is to cover each other. And my job is to make sure his heart is in the right, that he's ready for the world, so to speak, if I had to use that, ready for the world. So he knows if the world beat him down when he came home, she got me. And I'm going to pray. We got to understand what that looks like. And I think that that's the reason when you're talking about selecting, you know, for a man to select a wife, what are you selecting? What are you selecting? Because if it's only hips and lips, then that you're gonna get what you pay for. Shallow.
Then that's gonna start to go south. So then, because then what do you do with that?
Then you're back on the dating scene, or you're cheating, or you're doing it again. You have to be mature enough to understand where am I going, and who is the person that's connected to my destiny.
Yeah, because then you, like you said, you back on Who Got Next. That's a whole nother app. Hmm.
Steph says, seriously, they be announcing their new booze as much as they change underwear. Well, now, yeah,
And like
hear ye.
how
Come, you know, I got a new boo. Somebody else wants me. Yeah, because I'm like, yeah, anyway. All right. Shayna says being equally yoked is necessary in any relationship. Right. Let's talk about purpose. Let's talk about plans. What are your plans? What's your vision? Do I even see myself fitting in your vision? If you have none, then guess what? There's no vision, the people perish. So if you don't have a vision, I gotta go.
yeah. And it doesn't take long to figure out what that vision is, what that goal is, and what that ship is. Friendship, boyfriend, whatever that ship is. Take us for instance. We've known each other how many years now? It seems like forever, and not in a bad way. And I'm saying it that way because instantly it was a divine connection. We started
Going
a
on eight
business
years.
within the first year of our
Yeah.
friendship,
Going on 8 years.
and we going on 8 years, and we would be out venting. They like, "That's your sister? How we like, yep. How long y'all? Oh, we've been together about 4 months. Y'all lying? No, no, we're not. So but that came across right the very first time we went out. Conversation. What does this look like? What you do? What you do? And oh, we found out we got degrees in the same field.
And
Sort
we
of.
drove the same cars.
Right. So it was a divine connection. So you know when you know that you know. So like to her point, and that's in any relationship.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. So
Okay, let's
let's go to core values and modern values, the impact. What's the impact of these modern trends? Are they truly happier? Are relationships stronger? So we have this comparison. So foundation, Martin and Coretta, they were built on faith, trust, and shared purpose. Modern dating trends, they built on personal convenience and uncertainty. Commitment. So Martin and Coretta commitment through struggles. In our modern day, avoid difficulties. I ain't got time for all of that. We got, hold on. Stop the press.
oh.
We got a super chat, which from Bravo with Sheila. Knowing your heart is covered gives you such a freedom and ease to cover his.
Mhm.
Being in sync with the things that matter. Yes, because if she trusts him, I
I
promise you,
can snap. That was whole poetry right there. I was
yeah, if a woman trusts and how she feels that he got her and vice versa, they're unstoppable because they're going to look at each other and be like, oh, I got you, I'm gonna hold it down, and nobody will know what your flaws are because they're committed to covering one another.
mm-hmm.
um, so Janelle said, I left a long-term relationship for that reason. I loved him. However, after a conversation about visions and goals, we weren't on the same page. And that's hard because, especially when you love someone, you want to make it work. You be praying like, Lord, change his heart, break up the fallow ground. You start fasting and praying. And God's looking at you like, would you stop? Because he
Everything.
want. And
Great
we be
God
like,
from Zion.
right. And that part is hard. It is hard because it's the starting all over again. Many of us, I can be honest, I didn't want to start all over again because after I got divorced, I was like, I ain't never get married again. So I would have been like the people that last clip, which is like, I'll keep my distance. I can do this. I don't need all that commitment stuff. I'm cool, but I had to heal. I had to do my own work. And then say after, and this, after a while, I was like, you know what? Now I'm ready. Because before, the girls just want to have fun. That was it.
Yes, yes.
Janelle, Janelle said very hard. Yeah, and that's honest. And we have to be
Yep.
honest with ourselves in a relationship and say, you
And
know
not
what?
even that. I even commend her for having the courage to walk away because it's easier to walk away when somebody got on your last nerve and it's not like whatever and you're done. But in the midst of it, that takes so much courage and so much strength. I love you. I'm in love with you, but this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I gotta go. So then within all that, now you gotta heal. You gotta go through the whole crying process and the healing process. And not only that, now get used to a new norm because what was before is gone. That person
Mhm.
is gone. So now I have to start. And then, oh gosh, getting back into the dating scene. I'm gonna try to get some of these millennials up here because I was talking to them. Great God from Zion. Th- Yeah, I see why younger men date older women and why and vice versa. Younger men date older and younger women date older because the stuff they go, I gotta get them up here. Cause I was like, wow, just wow.
Yeah, Steph says very hard. And I think that's it. And I if I could even venture to say, and I think this is with anyone, it's like going back to it doesn't take a man all day to figure out where you fit in his life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we just have to be honest. Again, in the words of Lady Dawn B, at this big old age, you got
Right.
more life behind you than you do in front of you. So what we not gonna do is date for
And play
10
with
years.
time.
We're not going right
And
because
play with
time ain't
time.
playing with us, you know.
Right.
Or you want to marry me now because you one step away from a cane. Nah, bruh. Or they done diagnosed you with something. No, I'm not that. If
Now
I
you
was
want me because I gotta clean you up?
right,
Mm-mm,
if I
mm-mm.
wasn't good enough when you were healthy, I sure don't. Then I'm still not good enough. I buy out, you know. And
Right.
I just remember it almost makes me think of that movie with Tyler Perry when he left the wife for someone else, but then when he got shot, I can't think of the name of the movie. And she
Yeah.
then had to come in, the wife you left had to come in, but she was angry because she like, I gave you
Mm-hmm.
everything. I could hear it, I gave you everything, Charles, you know,
Charles, I lost kids.
right.
You had a woman.
And you here
Yeah, so
with
now we in the whole movie.
right, but I think that is important to think about. What is it that you want? Can you see this person being
Mhm.
literally your ride or die? And that's something I watched with my parents that I was able to say, yeah, she wrote it out because she met a man who was walking, but she buried a man who was paralyzed. So that's and was there and laughed and talked. So I said you often hear me say I'm cut from a different cloth. I've seen life a little differently.
And I'm leaving this up here because Lady Dawnby is on Thursday nights, as y'all know. If y'all want some stuff after hours, because they do like 2 and 3 hours, they be getting down on Thursday night. So if y'all want to go over there on Thursday night and hang out late, we the early session. We the early session. Lady Dawn B stays on after hours, and it takes a whole nother turn. It just goes somewhere else. So she's on the Bravo with Sheila Network on Thursdays.
Okay, so let me just pick up the rest of. So in partnership, it's Coretta and Martin were purpose driven partners, and modern day focus on individualism. Love for the Kings was love strengthened through adversity, versus modern day love tested by instant gratification. If you didn't buy me that purse, you don't love me. Okay. um,
Right.
so
How?
all right. Steph says I could do
That's
bad
yep,
all
that's the
by
movie.
myself. Oh yeah.
That's
No,
the
no,
movie.
that was a movie. Okay. Thank you.
Was it that one? It was so many
I
though.
don't feel like that was maybe I don't
No,
know.
I Can Do Better All By Myself was the other one with the bus
But that
driver.
was with Taraji. No, that wasn't that one. That
Taraji.
was
Yeah.
one.
We gonna figure
Anyway,
it out.
yeah.
Or maybe she's saying she could do better all by herself and not just
We
saying
don't
that's the
know.
movie. Oh
Oh,
no,
she
she
said
said
wrong
wrong movie. My
movie.
bad. That's all right, Steph. That's all right.
But thank you
So
for trying to
now
help
let's
us out.
see. Yeah, she gonna Google it. Google's everybody's friend. So bridging the gap, how to respect the roots in a modern world. The goal isn't to reject modern relationships altogether, but to find a balance. At the end of the day, love isn't just about what's trending, it's about what lasts. Do we respect the roots? building relationships on trust, vision, and loyalty? Or do we follow the trends, chasing convenience, avoiding commitment, and settling for what's easy? The choice is yours. However, we can bring the best of the past into our present. Okay, I thought she was talking to us. So root ways to build rooted purpose driven relationships. Okay, now we got it. I'm sorry, y'all. They helping us out in here.
The diary. No, it was the diary
Right,
of a
we
mad.
figured that out. We got black. That's it. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. We was gonna get because that was gonna bother me. I'm not gonna front. I was gonna Google it once we got off because I would have needed to know for myself up here. So you totally helped me out. So ways to build roots purpose driven relationships today. Have intentional conversations, discuss values, life goals, and purpose early on. When you want to build together, don't date just for fun. Create something meaningful, committing to hard work. Relationships require effort. Love is more than just feelings. Support each other's growth. Be partners in each other's success, not just in romance. Seek wisdom. Learn from couples who have built strong marriages before you. So, we are talking about tonight, we were doing a comparison from MLK to Coretta, and we were bouncing things back and forth. So, what are your thoughts in the chat so far? And while y'all getting that together, let's do this. I wanted to get your opinion on something. Before we close out, I wanted to get your opinion on something.
People in positions that they never showed you they qualified for. Like, we be having like super optimistic thoughts about people who have taken 0 steps to prove that they belong in the spot that we trying to give them. Like, it gotta be about something more than potential, man. Like, we gotta stop rewarding potential. You gotta start rewarding consistency and track record and resume when we out here dating. Like, that should be a pivotal part of the vetting process, right? Like, what does their resume say? What goals have they set and actually followed through to finish? Are they just all talk? Are they always telling you what they about to do or what they trying to do? If that person has never shown a history of finishing what they start, or never showed the discipline to buckle down and do what's necessary to get a goal accomplished, how in the hell are you trusting them within a relationship?
What's your thoughts? Because I thought that was very interesting, the comparison, how they move in their life and can't stay committed to what they say they're going to do on their own, and how that trickles over into a relationship.
Oh, I agree. If you can't take care of you, you can't take care of me. I mean, if you won't do something for you, then I can't expect that you would do something for me. I think that's as simple. And I think a lot of times it's women, we will go, well, you know what? He has potential and all. If I could just help him. No, absolutely not. You know who I do that for? My son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm helping him, but even at a point, he got to cut off.
Right.
You can't help. And I'm talking about somebody coming into the relationship. And that's how. I'm not saying once you guys are together and whatever, but if you can't complete, like, you start something, you finish, you start a business and then say, oh, I would have been successful if somebody else would have helped me. I'm like, bruh, go, bye, boy, bye.
What stood out for me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What stood out for me is when he said, we got to stop putting people in positions that they don't belong in.
Mm-hmm. But that's why
I have done that.
We'll do that.
So I was like, yeah. What you say?
I said, we'll say that because we're like, oh, he's a good man. He may be, but he's not the one for you and where you're going. So sometimes we don't want to, I think we have to understand there's a difference between being alone and lonely. They're two different things. Lonely is I'm going to put anybody in a spot. I may put someone who is unqualified to be with me in this spot because I'm lonely. But I can be alone and be at peace with me until the right person who has the right resume to fill the position comes to the spot.
And that's
That
what I
was,
think is part of the modern day dating, just putting people in positions where they don't
who
belong.
got next?
Who got next?
Chanel says is consistency for me. Absolutely. Janelle, inconsistency makes me itch. Right. It's an allergic reaction. Need some Benadryl. Steph says, I agree. I had a bad habit of saying he has potential. Either you are about your business or you're not. Right. We too old for
We've all
potential.
done that at some point.
Right
At
now, you need to be who
some
you
time.
gonna be. We're not 19, 20 talking about when he grow up. No, he should be all the way grown by now.
Big and grown. Big and grown.
And
So
he may
that
be
has
on his
been
second career. So at this age, no, I'm being
right.
think about it. He could have retired and decided to do something else.
Yeah, very true.
Still trying to
But
make it.
that
I'm trying to get myself together. People don't understand. The world's trying to hold me down. Pass him by, sis. Pass him by.
at this point, you don't even understand you if you at this age talking about nobody understands. You don't understand. That's a lack
He
of
needs a
self-awareness.
referral.
Right. Somebody's couch.
He needs a referral.
That has been our show, but we want y'all to stick around for those who missed our Black History moment. Our Black History moment was about Nat King Cole. If believe it or not, if it wasn't for him, we would not be here. Nat King Cole was a legendary jazz pianist and singer who became the first Black man to host a nationally televised variety show in the U.S. The groundbreaking Nat King Cole show debuted on November 5th, 1956 on NBC. The show featured music performances, comedians, and celebrity guests, such as Ella Fitzgerald and Sammy Davis Jr. It was the first time a Black entertainer hosted a television show on a major American network. Despite its success, NBC canceled the show due to racial barriers in media. By the late 1960s and the early 70s, Black-led television programs like Soul Train, now y'all know everybody watched Soul Train, and Sanford and Son gained traction, proving there was an audience for Black entertainers. Nat King Cole paved the way for the Flip Wilson Show, the Oprah Winfrey Show, the Arsenio Hall Show, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Quincy Jones, and many more. So we must thank Nat King Cole, because without him, guess what? We wouldn't even be in these YouTube streets. How about that? So thank you once again for watching Mondays Beyond the Mic. Hopefully we will see you next Monday. Have a great weekend, and we are out.
All I do is try to construe this life of mine, and soon